Hey, good morning and welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I'm Ken Walls and I'm your host. And today we have a really amazing dude on the show. This guy is a celebrity chef. I mean, he won a TV show called Chopped on the TV Food Network. I'm excited to have this guy on and to hear his story. So stay with us. We're going to get this thing rolling. All right, let's get this started. Let's welcome Eric LeVine to Breakthrough Walls. Eric, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
I'm excited to have you here, man. For the record, you're the first celebrity chef I've had on.
There you go. Awesome. Better celebrity chefs than me, all right?
dude, I have hey, look at that. That's the guy that introduced us, James. Dude, every time I always play around with James, I'm like, dude, every time I tell Siri to call him, I'll say, call James Baudouin, and she'll go, calling James Baudouin. Like, dude, that's crazy. But anyway, so hey man, I'm excited. I know that you I've stalked you on Facebook a little bit.
Nice.
I can't wait to come out to Long Island and bring my wife and eat at your restaurant. I've seen some of the stuff. Can I just say that what is that crab sandwich thing?
The crab sandwich.
It's like a crab or no, lobster. Lobster.
Oh, the lobster roll. Oh, the lobster roll. Yeah, you know what? It's so weird. Like when I opened up on Long Island, and oddly enough, we opened up in September, so not even a year ago. And then all this pandemic happened, so it's been a lot of fun. But the lobster roll has become this big, popular thing on Long Island. You know, normally it's a Cape Cod, Maine type thing.
Yeah.
People just love their lobster roll. And if it's not just perfect with the mayo, they kill you.
It is, dude. It looks incredible.
Yeah, it's good. Thanks, I appreciate it. You know, it's like anything else. We play with food, and that's a common thing. So we have so many weird things that we do here and fun things. To me, it's one of the fun, exciting moments that we have. I love to have fun. I've been doing this almost 40 years now, almost 40 years, and every day I don't ever work, and that's for me like the greatest thing, to get up every day and to look forward to going into the hot kitchen.
Yeah. I love it, dude. So I let's start. You know, I created this show. It's been about 2.5 years, 2 years and some change since I started the show. And I literally started this to help people get unstuck in life and kind of break through the walls that are holding them back. And so let's start with where you were born and raised. You sound like you may be from Texas.
No, Texas.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Texas by way of Brooklyn, yeah. Where I grew up, yeah. An amazing little town, amazing borough in New York, and lived there, grew up there. Just a phenomenal place to live. The great community, lots of insanity back in the 70s. But grew up in it and loved it. It's still my heart is always there. You know, it's one of those things that you can take the boy out of Brooklyn, but you can never take the Brooklyn out of the boy. And
so you're from Brooklyn?
Yeah, Sheepshead Bay.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. And I don't know what it's like now. I haven't been there in forever. But my mom still lives there for some reason. But it was a great a great learning experience as a child, I should say. Is one of those
Wow.
things. Yeah, it's and to be able to still be close to it, and a lot of my friends I grew up with in Brooklyn were still close. We still talk, and via social media, and luckily I do a lot of TV and Food Network stuff, so they find me, they stalk me, which is really weird. I get a text like, "Hey, you remember me?" I'm like, "No, when did we meet? Oh, we were in class in second grade. We were best friends." I'm like,
Best friends.
I haven't seen you in what, 30 something years, 40 years. So much for best friends.
I know how that goes, dude. So you grew up in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Going to I assume you graduated from high school. You did you end up in college?
I went to culinary school. I went to the Culinary Institute of America, but
okay.
It's kind of weird because I started at such a young age in the business when I was 11. I had my first job as a dishwasher, and then it turned into like a cook's position, and then life began, and that's how I wound up getting myself into a lot of trouble, because back in those days, you could drink in the kitchen, and again, it's not that now things are completely different. Like the things that we got away with, or things that were done in the kitchens when I grew up, you can never, ever, and should never get away with as a cook now, between the drugs and the alcohol, and it was a zoo. So I I wound up being a 13-year-old heroin addict, drugs and all that fun stuff. And
wow.
But you're a product of your environment. It's kind of like as people go through abusive childhoods, they become what their environment is, unless they're able to change that approach, if they're able to break the chain in that. So for life, it had to be some certainly sour lemons, but I made the lemonade out of it now. As you go, and that's why for shows like yours, I love paying it forward. I love to be able to share in the story, because if it could help that one person see something, that's what I want. If I can help, so like when I was on the show Chopped, so I don't know if you know this, but I'm a 5-time survivor of cancer. And
James mentioned that to me. I'd like, let's talk about that one here in a bit. But
So when I was in my 5th battle of it, that's when I taped the show Chopped. So the night before I was on for taping, I had a chemo treatment, a radiation treatment. My oncologist told me I had 6 to 8 months to live.
Holy crap!
So, I got up in the morning and I said, "What do I got to lose? If I go on the show and I win, great, I die a winner. If I go off and die, no one's going to say, 'Oh, he sucked,'
Wow.
So I went on. I wound up winning, which is great. But in the middle of the show was like one of those moments of clarity. And from the show, once it aired, the amount of people that contacted me because their spouse was going through cancer, or their child, or their aunt, or whatever, to come to me to say, "Hey, can you talk to them? Your energy was so good. You were positive about you're going to figure this out and get through it."
Yeah.
So it became, I felt responsible. I felt like I had to do this, because it's my calling, I guess. I don't know. When I got through cancer, when I was found out that I was in remission, I realized that there was something more to life than what I was doing. That I had a message, and even though it was my 5th battle of cancer, this one hit me the hardest because of the 6 to 8 months. But I realized I had to pay it forward. I realized I had to do more for others, and really kind of, just shift everything that I do. Even my approach to my staff now, to my customers, I'm more empathetic. I want to help others, like yourself, in growing and taking things that you can do to make people better, make them happy, more successful. So when James hooked us up, I was like, this is like the great opportunity to be able to share in that. So that's what also led me to starting my own podcast, which happens called Behind the Wall, because there's so much that goes on, and having the different, I guess, structures of my life, whether it's kitchen, whether it's beating cancer, drug abuse, actual being molested as a child. There's these different things that make it important for me to pay it forward. There's a reason why, if there is a God, God hasn't taken me. And I always tell people, God hates me, hell's afraid to take over, so I'm stuck here. But it's about how we could help others, with the things that on in this world. It is insane. And I just listen. We're not going to fix everything overnight. We're not going to make everyone's life different overnight, but every day we can try. Every day we can push it forward to the people around us and hope that engages others on the perimeter, and we'll bring them in.
Let me ask you this, man. So go back to you went through you just fast forwarded through your whole life.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, we're done. 10 minutes in. Thanks. Yeah. So
enough food to feed off of. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm really thinking about just taking a flight over for lunch today. But so let's go back to, you went to, because we have similar paths, believe it or not. I started in an Italian restaurant working at 11 years old.
There you go.
11 years old. And I didn't start dishwasher. I ended up doing dishes, but I started cleaning the trash dumpster area outside for a couple of hours. And oh God, that was awful.
You okay? I got it.
Yeah. But you know, I tell my daughters, I'm like, hey, I was a backline chef in an Italian restaurant, and my youngest daughter's like, oh yeah, sure you were, because I never cooked. But I wasn't I was a backline cook. I never got up to the chef position. But anyway, you know, start with what made you decide I'm going to culinary school? Like, it just seemed like the thing that you were supposed to do.
Yeah, well, my first, it goes back to when I was 6 years old. My parents were divorced, and I'd see my dad. Yeah, six. So when I was 6 years old, I got my first cookbook. It was a Mickey Mouse cookbook. And when I'd see my dad once in a while, he got me for Christmas, and he said, "You can make anything you want." Wow. So I picked out the Goofy's. I remember it like it was yesterday. We picked out the Goofy's chocolate mousse, and we were making it. If you remember the older days where they had the hand blender and you could take the actual whisks off. Remember the ones, right? So he said, whatever you do when you're mixing it, don't pull it out while it's still on. Well, I was that kid. All right. There was myself and my older brother, and I was the trouble child. Right. So of course I was like, oh, okay, bang, right up to the ceiling. And he left it up there probably for a good few months. And every time, that beating was not fun. But you know what? My association with food and attention as a kid, my grandmother basically raised us because my mom was full-time. She was working full-time and going to college full-time to be a nurse. Yeah. So I always associated food and love of food and some type of attention. And that's where I was hooked on it. So as life progressed, it just became the norm. It became something that felt comfortable.
Yeah.
The kitchen life, the insanity, the screaming, the fire was like home, So to me, it was like a natural progression to be able to live the life. And it's rendered me amazing things in life. And I'm not just talking financial. I'm talking about relationships.
Yeah.
The ability to change people's lives, having the ability to help others through what I do. And it's not just about food. It's charity work. It is human interaction. It's all those little things that make a difference. And how can I create, for my business, how could I create that experience every day? So we have a kitchen where people can see what's going on. They could come in and they could say hello. And that's what I want. I want people to come into our house and feel like they're home. And that's an important thing. I used to think the more creative I could be, the more upscale I could be, the more, I could be this chef, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't matter. The foo-foo stuff, the tweezers, the 30 hands on one plate, that's not for me. We do some fun stuff and some more upscale stuff. Yeah. But when you can give someone that burger as a burger and have them come to the window and say, best burger ever, it's kind of cool. Basic, simple, but great. And that's how I do everything in life. It's a blessing to do. And it's, I have a few cookbooks out, just lots of fun that I'm doing. And listen, it's never easy, but every day is great.
Yeah.
When you go public.
I think, first off, when I come over, I want to watch you in action.
Yeah, you can sit and check it. Welcome to it. Yeah,
I'd love to see it, man. I love watching talented chefs, man. I just love it.
you got to get James and you guys come on out.
Yeah, we're down with that. So the yeah, look, my wife's already talking about getting your by the way, her brother, my brother-in-law has had cancer off and on since he was 6 years old. 6 years old, man. Yeah, so she, she knows all about that. But so talk about the first, because you said you've had cancer 5 different times. Talk about the very first time. How old were you when you?
I was 29.
Wow.
Oddly enough, I had this weird pain in my right leg, and it started to become numb. I ignored it because I figured, because I worked a lot, in the business, and you just work and you get all these pains and weird stuff going on. And then finally, I started getting tired, like weird, oddly tired. So I went to a doctor, had him check me out. He said, I want you to take some blood work. Wound up having what's called chondrosarcoma. But the chondrosarcoma wasn't, typically it happens in the joints, but it was in my spine. So, and it also typically happens in males that are 55 and older. So, of course, me, why do anything the easy way, right? And so, I went chemo and radiation treatment, and I did that, and I came out the other side. Just about a year and a day later, wound up finding out that, because I was doing tests every 6 months, wound up having Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that I went through that. That was a lovely ball of wax. And then I had I think it was another year and a half, wound up getting what's called AML, acute myeloid leukemia, twice. So it was in remission, and then it came back.
Oh my God.
And after that, 7 years, I was in remission for 7 years, and I was on my first vacation with the family. And we came off the cruise, and I started to feel this weird, like I couldn't breathe type thing, oddly enough. Week went by, got checked into the hospital. They did all these tests. They thought a heart attack, they thought whatever. And then we had a pulmonary doctor come in, and he said my chest plate was torn.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just had to take these antibiotics, I had to take this other stuff, and it was fine. Well, that August was my yearly, at that point. I was going yearly for my checkups, and I was just feeling tired all the time. I wasn't feeling right. So we did, obviously they did the blood work, and my oncologist called me up and he said, you need to come in and we need to talk. And I'm like, okay, what is it? Turned out to be Richter syndrome. Richter syndrome is an advanced form of chronic lymphocytic leukemia. Very rare, very deadly. And of course, I don't do anything easy. So we started treatment. They did what what's called stacking, where they take 2 types of chemo. And the acronyms are R-CHOP and MindBop. And then whatever the chemical is, it was brutal. It was brutal. And it's also, besides the chemo, is doing the radiation as well. And that's what my oncologist told me, is that, I don't know what else I can do for you, but I'm going to pass you on to the specialist. And so that was pretty creepy. People talk about, like, and unfortunately my little brother right now, he has glioblastoma, which is a brain cancer, and he's not going to come out the other side. So we talk about it all the time, and he's really in rough shape right now. But unless someone tells you that, and it's really morbid, and I hate to talk about things like this, but unless someone tells you that you're going to die, we all know we're going to die. Yeah. We all know it's going to come. We don't know when. We don't obsess about it, because forever in our minds we're going to live. But when someone tells you got 6 to 8 months to live and that's it, you go from okay to holy mother of God to this, okay, I'm going to beat it or I'm going to die trying. And in the mindset, so I did an interview with Sanjay Gupta from CNN, and he talked about beating the cancer and things like that. So he even was surprised when he talked to my oncologist how bad it was, because he does his due diligence and he talks and it was kind of interesting, because now it's 9 years in remission, but you look back and you go, I should be dead. Like
wow.
So there's whatever the reason is.
How many years ago was it?
I'm in remission 9 years now.
dude. Like,
Yeah.
so I do a lot on mindset, and I love Dr. Joe Dispenza. I don't know if you follow him or not. Ed Milet and Andy Frisella talk about him a lot. Incredible guy. Like, I highly recommend his books. Becoming Supernatural is one
Oh
of
yes,
it.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, amazing book. So but let's talk about labels for a minute. Let's talk about that doctor. Was he, did he give you any hope, or did he just say, hey dude, this is it, 8 months or so?
I think he was more upset about it than I was.
Really?
Yeah. But when we talked about it, it was, this is what I can do for you. If this doesn't work, there's nothing I can do.
Wow.
I'm hoping it could work. It has worked in the past, but everybody's different. That's one of the things that people forget, that cancer, you and I can have the same type, right? But our treatments are different. Our reactions are different.
Yeah.
Our end game is different. There are certain cancers that people will never recover from. Pancreatic is a massive one.
Yeah.
That you very rarely come back. Glioblastoma is another one. It's hard to, you can live a certain period of time, but it's going to get you.
Right.
One of my favorite all-time drummers, this guy Neil Peart from a band called Rush, he just passed away from that same brain cancer my brother has. So
wow,
it really hit home, because the band Rush has been my whole life. The first time I saw them, I was 8 years old. I saw them open up for Kiss.
Dude, that's my first concert was Rush.
Really? Oh, that's great. Yeah.
1984, man. Exit stage left.
That's funny.
Yeah. So Neil Peart's the best drummer that ever lived. Yeah. But we don't have to go into all that.
Great writer too. Great writer. Put a couple books out. Really good novelist, and I mean, the lyrics that he wrote for Rush were just so intense, and it's kind of fun to read through his stuff sometimes and just see what he really meant to say. Who knows? So
you've definitely beat the odds for sure. Like,
a lot of ways. Yeah.
What do you think? Did you have a mindset shift? It was like, no, this ain't going down like this. I'm gonna beat this.
I've always been that way. So my background has been so weird, and the things I've gone through between, like I said, between the drugs, being molested as a child, the cancer, all these things kind of like toughened me up, I guess, give me thick skin, but also made me aware that I won't stop. I mean, I do what I do every single day. To one degree or another. Even like today, we're closed for the restaurant, but I'm here doing work because I truly believe that I need to constantly always move forward and stuff. And you're yelled at from family and friends, oh, you need to slow down, I'm like, why? Well, it's like the 75 Hard program. It's every day.
Yep.
Working out twice a day. Okay.
Yep.
You're like, oh, you need to relax your muscles. I'm like, wait a minute. What do you think? I'm going out bodybuilding?
Right.
It's not about that. It's pushing yourself, and it is the mindset. That's our strongest weapon. And I talk to my staff, to my kids, my family. Like, if you could get over, I can't, and could start focusing on how to do it, you'll be able to succeed in anything. And it may not be where you want to go, but it's going to be where you need to go, or what's meant for you to be.
Right.
You get so caught up in, if I don't have this, and this by this time, every day's different. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, look at what's going on in our world right now. Who ever thought, right?
Yeah, right.
Chugging along, and all of a sudden, hey, it's COVID. Hey,
Yeah.
And so it's like anything else. So for me, my mindset's always been one of survival, one of strength, one of empathy, one of determination. Because I won't fail. I have failed, but I won't fail. I failed in the past. That'll never happen again. I'll never make those same mistakes twice. I'll make other mistakes, but I'll learn from them, and I'll pay. And most importantly, I'll pay it forward. I talk to and I always refer to my team, but because I've become their mentor. Now I've become their teacher, and if I can make them great and even better than I ever was, in my career, that's awesome. I've paid it forward.
Right.
That will always be the legacy. They'll always remember how I helped them to grow and develop and to be here. I have had mentors that have pushed me, and they don't even know how hard they really pushed me. They were doing what they thought was right.
Right.
So now I do a lot more reading. I'm involved in a lot more organizations, and truly inspired by paying it forward and helping others. I don't need anything in life. I'm good. I'm good with, I don't need all the money in the world.
Right.
That's not going to make me a better person. I'll get a nicer car, a nicer house. I could do more for others by having this money to do fundraisers or to pay it forward by helping families. Good.
Yeah.
But I don't need, I wear the same shoes every day. I'm always in my chef jacket except for right now. But it's one of those things that what do I need? I have it. I have it all. And I want to do more to help others. That's my goal. If I can make more money and I can pay it forward by doing other things with the money, great. What, you gonna take the money with you?
Right. So with the it sounds like you did the TV show. Is that I guess a competition show, Chopped?
So Food Network Chopped. It's the biggest show ever, the biggest, highest rated show on Food Network. And it's interesting because from that show, I was able to do the Chopped and Chopped Champions. I was on Beat Bobby Flay, and I actually have done stuff for Travel Channel, and so it's everything's begotten the next thing. But from the show, I became good friends with Scott Conant, who's one of the judges, Vinny Chauhan, who's one of the judges. She actually wrote the foreword for my new cookbook.
Wow.
And oddly enough, like I say, I started a podcast, which it just kind of happened. Yeah. And now all these people that I'm friendly with are coming on. Like I'm going to be recording with Manid. I'm going to be recording with this celebrity chef David Burke, with this guy Eddie Trunk. And, all these people that start to come on, and they're interested in, and it's a little nothing, but it's starting from somewhere. Right. So if I can take
what made you decide to do that? Were you invited to do it? Did you try out for it? How does that work?
So I was for Chopped, I was actually brought in by a talent scout, a friend of mine.
Wow.
They were working on another show, not Chopped. And I read for the show. No, I'm a cook. I don't.
Yeah. Right.
Right. So they wanted, chefs who have been in the catering field and blah, blah, blah. So I said, sure, I'll give it a shot. Why not? And we started talking about the show, and they told me who was kind of the celebrity chef for it, the host. And I said, yeah, I can't do it. This is conflict of interest. And they're like, why? I said, because him and I went to culinary school together, and he was a bully to some people. And this is something you don't know about me, but I don't like bullies. I will bully the bully because I want to allow other people to be pushed down by a bigger person. And he got pushed down hard by by another person. That was me. So when they told me it was this guy, and I'm like, nah, you don't want that, because him and I they're not gonna go. And they said, oh, but we got this other show. It's a new show. It's called Chopped. Have you seen it? And I saw a clip of it in its first episode. Because I was in the first year cycle. And I'm like, I watched it. I was like, yeah, how hard could this be? Yeah, that was the most terrifying. What it is. Like when you see, if you ever see the show, it's you get 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and 30 minutes. And there is no redo. There is no, what's in the bat. Nothing about it. Actually, on my podcast, I did a whole episode on my Chopped experience, because people think, oh, what's in the basket. You have no clue. Oh, it must be in more time than 20 minutes. No, it's exactly that. Plus, you get cameras. You get 3 cameras on you from all different angles, and they're in your way half the time. Who does that? We're all in the same position, so equal sanity. But I ran into the guy, knocked him over, and I'm like, "Oh, sorry," and I walked over him. And, but from that show, it's interesting how, and it's a cooking show. It's a competition. It's a great thing because I won. It is a weird thing because I won, and you become a target for your customers. I had one customer yelp, oh, Chopped champion chef, guess what? You're chopped. And you're like, shut up. That's what you got? That's all you got? You're really clever there, Jack. And did you spend all day thinking about that?
Yeah, right.
It was one of those things that it's you just kind of deal with. It's like anything else. Everyone's got something to say about something. And everyone, but it's funny. Like I have customers who come in over the years, and my husband's a chef, and you're like, oh, really? Well, where does he cook? Oh, no, I don't work in a restaurant. I cook at home. so you're a home cook. I'm like,
Right.
that's like me reading a legal document and saying I'm a lawyer. We're going to
Right.
and going, hey, look, I'm a doctor. I just sucked up. Really, folks, or we're the same here. You and I, we cook the same pressure.
Right.
Put you in the hole. Let's see how you do.
Hey, I own a set of Cutco knives,
I'll
man.
be
I'm
really-
qualified.
If I had my line of knives still around, I'd send you a set.
Yeah, right. So apparently my wife and daughter watch Chopped. I've never seen it myself. So.
Your wife and daughter are awesome.
I know, right? So wow. And I think my youngest daughter is she's 9 years old, loves to cook, loves to so we'll see what happens with that. So you won that show, and at that time you probably were not as well known as you became afterwards.
Yeah, I mean that certainly helped. I mean, I already had a reputation. I mean, I have lots of awards and lots of different things. So I have had, and because of the different organizations I belonged to before that, I had international recognition because of the catering world and the things that I've done for that. So that helped boost to the next level. Which is, it's a great thing. Yeah.
That's incredible, man. I cannot. My wife just commented and said, I cannot imagine that pressure. I'm sure it was a ridiculous amount of pressure.
You know what? People always say, like, "Oh, it looks so easy." I'm like, "You're out of your mind." You walk into the being at Chopped Champions was a little bit easier because you were a little more familiar with the studio and where things were.
Yeah,
but it's the pressure. You got 20. People don't understand what 20 minutes means. When you're trying to prepare a dish and you have no clue where anything is, you don't know. All the chefs are on the same boat, so we all had the same pressure. So if anyone who's on that show tells you that there was no pressure, they're full of it. I don't care. You're in one ear, you hear the judges mumbling something, and if you catch it, because I was close, my table was closest to the judges, and I am cutting it, and I hear them talking about another contestant, and I'm like, oh, shit, I'm about to do that. Oh, I got to shift gears,
Wow.
Or you're the pressure of the time. You're 3, 2, 1. You're like, oh, and you hear them going, oh my god, get it on the plate, get it on the plate. And you're like, but I'm trying. Shut up, I'm trying.
Yeah. Wow, man.
It was fun. It was weird because they brought it up. Because when I got to the studio, I had to explain to them, because I had a chemo treatment and radiation treatment the night before, that if something happens to me, if I fall, cut, bang my head, whatever, they need to know that that's what occurred the last night.
Right.
What happened was when I got up to the judges' table, they brought it up. So if you saw the episode, you could kind of see me look at them like, I don't want to talk about this. This isn't about that. It's about winning this competition and competing, and that's what I really wanted out of it. But they came out, and so from there, I just realized that I have to be able to, I'll be able to pay it forward.
Yeah.
Towards, So it was good. It was great. It's 9 years, and they play that thing. People will come in and be like, "Oh, I just saw you on Chopped." I'm like, "Yeah, that's 9 years old."
Wow. Yeah.
There was an episode I did this thing with Travel Channel called Food Paradise, and it was probably about 5 years ago, and it was in one of my old restaurants in New Jersey. And the amount of text messages that I got, because it must, I only know when I'm on TV, on Chopped, on Food Network, or Travel Channel, because I get texts. So, looking at
Excuse me.
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's intense. So when did you start your restaurant?
The new one, this one, 317 Street. We opened up September 10th.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We talk about and thank God we're getting by because we didn't shut down, because we're doing takeout. We're doing some pretty cool things. We do this thing called Feeding Farmingdale, which we have. So in our back space, we have an event space back there, and we do music on Fridays and Saturdays. So one of the partners came up with an idea to create a live music stream and raise money to feed families.
That's nice.
Yeah. So it was one of those things that was kind of important to us. But having the restaurant, we opened up, and the chaos ensued after, March, right before St. Patty's Day. And so my partners also own the Nutty Irishman, which is next door, and it's a big Irish pub, kids, blah blah blah. And on our in Farmingdale Main Street, they do a whole thing on a Saturday. They call it Leprechaun, where everyone dresses up like leprechauns and get drunk and have fun. And we do it with a couple of Irish bands here and shut it down. And it was crazy because we were just on such a roll, and we were getting so much TV press, and I was on doing, it was crazy. And then to get hit like that, we had to shift gears really quick. So we do a lot of takeout. We do a lot of packages that are reasonably priced for families. We just started doing, oddly enough, now that the streets are kind of opening again, we do a lot of cocktails to go. It's been, I'm doing this almost 40 years. I've never seen the amount of percentage-wise. Typically in a restaurant, you're about 75% food, 25% alcohol, or 70-30 in that range.
Yeah.
Yesterday, it was I think it was 69% alcohol. The rest food. It was insane. It was a slower day, but my God, it was like nuts. It was
wow.
You just want to drink and hang out, and you can't hang out yet.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. We'll get this soon. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks we can start banging on this. It's been interesting because you had to lay off a ton of people, and now we're starting to bring people back slowly.
Yeah.
And people don't want to come back because they're making more money on unemployment than they are working for us. And we could talk about that, the whole other story.
Yeah. Right.
As a business owner, it's yeah.
Yeah, I literally had this this exact conversation this morning with somebody that's in the government, so that he expressed concern about that very thing. Yeah. So I think that I mean, you've been through a lot. Way more than what most people go through in life. And what's that?
I have a high threshold of pain, apparently.
Yeah. Well, so you've been through this, and yet you put off this really amazing energy. Like you've got this happiness about you, this energy that I mean, you genuinely do. I just feel like, when I meet you, we're going to hug it out with a bro hug or something. Right. So, but like, I think that I'd like to know where that comes from. Why, how can you go through I mean, you've had cancer 5 times, dude. You were told you had 8 months to live. Like, where does this come from? Why are you so happy?
Well, it comes from that. It comes from the fact that I came on the other side, and the realization of how amazing life is, even through chaos, and maybe because I like chaos. I just, this is one of the things that my grandmother pushed into me. The positive energy. She came through a rough time in life, and just her love. I think my mom the same way. That was the reason. I think I've been positive. Listen, my mom and I have always been very, very close. Even when I was the troubled child, even when I was making things difficult for her, and she was only doing the best she could. Now we've always been best friends, and the lessons that I've learned from her, and the positive. I call her the hippie, because she's a hippie to me. She's always, anyone who knows me knows when I refer to my mom, I refer to her as the hippie. In my cell phone, it says the hippie. It says the hippie on there, and she's all about peace and love and all that happiness. And she went through a tough time, and my grandmother went through a tough time, but they were always full of love, right? And I didn't understand that till I guess I beat cancer for the last time. How you could be positive, caring, energetic. You gotta live. Like, what? It's easy to be negative. It's easy to say this world sucks. This is wrong. Point the finger. They're wrong. Them this. Them that. But someone who used to be very close to me used to say to me, like, every time you point a finger, there's 3 pointing right back at you.
Yep.
And she was 100% right. And that is those aha moments where I have a lot of people who rely on me. Right. If I'm down, I can shift the energy anywhere in the negative. but I could also shift it in the positive. So if my daughter's having a bad day, how can I motivate her to feel good? If a cook is having a bad day, how do I motivate them? But if you give that energy off, it's the greatest thing ever to shift someone's mood like that. Give them a little positive affirmation. Why not? Why just beat on them? It doesn't help you. And listen, we in the kitchen, we beat up on each other all the time.
Yeah.
But we genuinely help each other. For me, as the leader, first one in, last one out type thing. I always want things to be positive. It's easy to get angry at something and lose focus. And when you lose focus, you lose the end game. You lose the goal. Your sight is blurred by whatever. So you find solutions. And I think that's where it comes from. I think it comes from being in the worst case scenarios of everything in life. Like I wouldn't wish what I went through on anybody, nobody, because no one deserves to be in that position. No one should ever feel what I felt. So if I could help them not do that, if I could help them succeed, if I could help them move forward in life despite challenges, then it's great. Then I've accomplished something. And I think that's what it's about, and paying it forward and being a leader, being a person who can help make a difference. So I've gotten, like we talk about the 75 Hard program, I've gotten 3 or 4 dozen, easily 3 dozen people that I know involved. Yeah. And I get text messages all the time. We're doing this interview. I got a text message from a guy, and I know what's going on. In his mind, he's about to give up. So I'm going to get off this with you, and I'm going to say, you're not going to give up. You're going to push through it. You talk to people about, I can't do that. Well, of course you can. It's just you don't want to.
Right.
The do or the do not theory.
Yep.
Right? Either you do it or you're not. So I have a choice every day. I wake up, I put my feet on the ground, and I thank God that I'm alive. I got 2 bad knees, but I got a great attitude. So I just, you kind of move forward, and you kind of make the best of any situation, and you pay it forward by doing that. And you share with people, listen, okay, my knees suck, but I'm going to go downstairs and get something for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's one of those things that you just push forward. I don't know. I've learned so many valuable lessons. And I think that now I have a very clear focus on what I could do and what I need to do. So, like coming on your show, to me, it was like, when James mentioned it, obviously I took a look at what you do and your energy and like your show, you did the show last night, and I watched it, and it hit me in a great way. You had those two people on that you were talking about what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And to listen to clear conversation, it's great. And it's tough for people who care, want to make a difference, to be able to articulate, I understand, I'm there for you. I have a friend I was talking to last night, and he's African American, and he has 2 boys, and he posted some things, and I said, listen, you can't blame this on this.
Yeah.
I know you're angry, and I'm there for you, and I'm here for you. I can never, ever, ever feel how you feel, because I don't see it through your optic.
Right.
I see it through mine. And I love you, and I'm here for you. And you could yell and scream to me if you want. You could talk to me about your fears. But no, I got you 6. And he called me up, and he was crying to me, and I love the guy. And I just want him to be okay. And what's going on is not okay. So it's, how do we change it as a society? And the same rule applies to me. How do I change my small world, right? Every day. And how do I want to pay it forward to others, so that they could pay it forward to others? That constant chain, that constant moving forward. It's not an easy world. It's not an easy world that we live in, and nor should it be. Nothing should be easy. Everything you don't accomplish greatness or great things by an easy thing. By getting the easy way through it. And people find that out. Listen, you hear people about paying. I don't know what the actress's name, but she paid for her kid to go to college. That's how she got the kid in, by donating. Nothing free ever happens. There's no free meal. You get nailed like on the crucifix, and now you're an idiot. So it's one of those things, like, just do the right things every day, and you'll be okay. Karma has this funny way of coming back. You put yourself in that position. I've done it. I did it for years, until a good friend of mine Carl had said, stop painting yourself in the corner and swinging your way out. Right. So,
Right.
it's true. So, when I hear others talk about moving forward, I'm always like, hell yeah. Like, how do we get more people in that mindset? How do we get people to constantly, through their the negative optic, how do we get them to see clarity? It's tough. It's not always easy. You got to bang on people to get them to understand that, never
So,
easy.
There's and I've often thought about this. You would know better than anyone, since this whole lockdown happened, and especially restaurants. It's almost like restaurants are being singled out. It's crazy.
Tell me about it, man.
Yeah, I'm sure but the servers, like they don't make much on an hourly wage. Their money's in the tips, and I think how are they surviving? How I mean, the unemployment for a server can't be as high as what they actually make.
No, I think what they do is they calculate for servers who are making X amount. I think there's a different calculation for it. Like they push them right to the minimum wage, because for a non-typical employee.
But still, that can't be close to what they may actually make.
No, probably not. But listen, it's enough to survive. I mean, you find ways. I mean, we try to bring people in. But there's not a lot of work. I mean, there's work, but as a tipped employee, there's no way near what they can.
Yeah,
make.
right. So for the person right now, Eric, that's they're struggling. They don't see a way out. Suicide is at an all-time high.
Yeah.
And for the person that they just don't see a way out. They don't know, they can't pay their bills. Maybe they can't, I mean,
well, I think there's more options than people realize. And I think part of the darkness happens when they don't see the other.
Right.
But I think we pay close attention to our friends and family, the people around us.
Yeah,
we reach out a lot more than maybe we ever did. I think that there's signs. There's when people start to shut down. Why? Maybe they were so active socially on social media. Where'd they go? I reach out to people all the time who I haven't heard from in a couple of days. Just, hey, health and wellness check. How you doing? Yeah. And I think that's important, whether they're here in New York, New Jersey, India or France. I just do a wellness check, and I think that if everyone does that a little bit more often, we can get to the hearts of some of the problems. And communication is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
You sprinkle that in with what's going on, here in America. It's crazy. So I check on all my people every day, just to make sure that they're okay. And I think it's kind of like the suicide rate's gone up. I hate to hear that, because there's hope, but people sometimes don't see it. And I think it takes people like us to push that hope out there, to reach out, to say, hey, what can I do for you? How can I help you? I may not be able to, like for my staff, I may not be able to pay you, but I'll feed you every day. I'll feed you every day. Doesn't matter. I'll figure out how to make you good with that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's as simple as that. Sometimes it's as simple as a phone call or a text, followed by a goofy picture. Try to make people smile and share in some goofiness and make them laugh a little bit. Sometimes it's just saying, listen, I see you struggling. What can I do to make it easier? How can I help you? Come in. Let me make you dinner. Meet me. Meet me here and let's sit down and have a cup of coffee.
Do you find that people have, I would imagine that if I was ever in that position again, which I have been in that position, by the way, I'm a recovered alcoholic with almost 18 years sober. And when I was out there doing my deal, man, I hit some periods where, I did not have money, but I still had probably a very false sense of pride. So I would have never reached out to my buddy Eric and said, hey man, I haven't eaten in a couple of days. I'm starving here. Do you find that that maybe people are suffering from some of that, the pride and
100%. But I like I reiterate to my staff all the time that nothing wrong with having a meal. I need to help you feed your family. It's okay. I don't judge you. I don't, and I don't think anyone in this day and age would do that. I mean, there's some animals out there who do, but
right.
I don't care. I worked with one of my vendors, Cisco, and I said, listen, I want to do something where we could get food from you that I could distribute to the restaurants in the area for their families, for their team members, for their employees. What can you do? And they sent literally, I thought they were going to send a couple of boxes. They sent 4 pallets of food. 4 pallets of food. So I called up and down the block and I said, listen,
wow.
I have all this great stuff. This is meant for you not to sell, but to give to your staff to help them through this time. Come and get it. And they did. It was great. So, from there, we created something that we could help our staff with. And hey, listen, you need food, you need whatever, call us. So we do the best we can. Money we can't do right now because we're in this space.
Yeah.
And, we're struggling as everyone is to get by, and we're all in it together. We're all in it together. And even our vendors who have been great to us and they've been patient and, delivering food. And we, unfortunately, as a business that just opened, hits you a little bit harder because you open up not on a shoestring, but you open up because of course you want to be open in June and you don't open till September and you're paying the rent and your expenses. So your working capital is a little bit less than you want it to be.
Yeah.
So we're in a role and we're making things happen and things were the worst scenario you could have for opening up a new restaurant. However,
you got to get creative.
Yeah, we've innovated a lot of really cool things and packages and things that people could order from us.
Yeah.
Some things that are less expensive, and some we even started doing date nights. So on Fridays and Saturday we have a special menu just for date night for 2 people. Wow. And we keep it within a reasonable price, and everything's reasonably priced. And one of my partners, Joe, always has ideas that he comes to me with. He's like, "What do you think of this?" And, sometimes I want to give him a noogie, and then sometimes I'm like, "Yeah, perfect, makes sense." But it's the fact that we're always trying to innovate.
Right.
There are ideas that we all have that just don't make sense for us.
Yeah.
There's a ton that do. So it's how do you create? Like we were doing this cooking class, virtual cooking class, that just didn't take off. So we were doing it where you would buy the package of food, go home, and then you'd come online with me, and we would do it together.
Yeah.
For some reason, it just never picked up, and I don't know if it's because we didn't have enough time to do it. We're going to try it again, but we're also going to, but we have a couple of things coming up down the road.
Yeah.
I see other chefs who are doing it, and I'm like, how does it work out? Like, so
yeah.
We keep on innovating, and we don't slow down, and we keep on trying new things and finding ways to just innovate.
Yeah.
More options. Yeah.
This is a great question by our buddy James.
Yeah. I can sell any celebrity.
Who would it be and why? If you could cook for any celebrity, who would it be and why?
So it could be a celebrity actor or sports figure, right?
It could be anybody in the world, any celebrity in the world.
So probably Mark Messier, hockey player who played for the New York Oilers. Just because I learned so much from his way of actually there's 2 people, him and Andy Frisella. I'm gonna put Andy above. I'm gonna scratch that. Hell with Mark Messier. Andy. I'm gonna cook for Andy. Why? Because from Andy, so much has shifted in my paradigm. So I want to say Andy. Yeah.
Dude, I'm sure that would be an easy. Andy and Emily would love, I'm sure, to have you come and cook for them.
Well, trust me. Don't think I haven't tried yet. I haven't tried that route. I mean, Emily has my cookbook, and I'm hoping to get Andy on the podcast one day. Yeah. But you know what? I sent a message to Andy and I said, listen, when you open up the new headquarters, I'm coming down and cooking for you and the team, you and Sam and the boys, and
What'd he say?
I haven't got a response yet. So
Uh,
I'm sure he gets killed in DMs all the time.
Yeah, he does. He does. Dude, you're a rock star, man.
Dishwasher.
I'm serious. I can't believe that the stuff that you've been through and what you've overcome. Um, and you're still just grinding it out, man. You're still
every day.
every day, man.
A lot to live for. You know, there's so much more. Like I tell people all the time, I just literally scratching the surface on what's next for me.
Yeah.
It's not the what's next that I need. It's what's next that I need to do.
Yeah. Right. Right.
So that's what I'm blessed. I'm very, very blessed. I'm very, very lucky, which is where the energy comes from. You know, I know that I have more to do and to help others, just like you're doing, and it's important. You know, and I appreciate the fact that James put us together. You know, because I met Arte and through 75 Hard, and that's the magic, and that's the coolest thing ever. Like meeting someone via social media that you've never met hand to hand, face to face, but yet you feel like you're family already.
Yeah.
You know, like there are things like there are people I've met through 75 Hard and the Arte Syndicate that they're more family to me than my own family in some ways. You know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like you find people on same common ground, which is kind of a cool thing to do, and then be able to explore other things and learn from them, which I love. I love learning from other people. I just want to get better. I just want to keep doing. You know, like I always feel like I sleep 2 hours a night because I can't sleep because I'm always thinking about like there's a million things and my mind doesn't shut down. And and just there's so much more, and it's like I'm always feeling like this caged tiger. Like I gotta go. And there are times where I don't know what to do with the energy, so I literally doodle. Like I could sit there. And I'll show you one day this book of doodling that I have. It's the weirdest thing, but it helps my mind process. Like I'm very shape color oriented.
Yeah.
It's this weird linear type thing, and I always have to expand. I always have to expand that thing. You know.
Yeah.
I'm losing the weight. I'm expanding the mind.
Yeah.
You know.
My wife and I did 75 Hard together. And we went on a family vacation to Florida during 75 Hard. Dude,
how'd that work out?
Not ever do that. we have another vacation scheduled, and James just asked me, he's like, "You want to do 75 Hard again?" I said, "Not until I get back from vacation, bro." No, I do not. It is brutal doing it on vacation.
I couldn't even imagine.
Oh, and we drove to Florida from Ohio.
Because there's lots of good eating going down that road.
Well, not only that, you have to stop and work out.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, it was dude, it was brutal. But it was my wife just said it was so hard. We got home from vacation, we drove 13 and a half hours to get home, and it pulled into the driveway at 3:24 in the morning. And I went to the freaking gym.
There you go. See,
to get my
all about.
Yeah, that's what it's about, man. And it's so rewarding, though, man. The payoff is insane.
Oh my God, yeah. And really, like I talk to people all the time about it. I'm like, it's the physical change is the byproduct of the whole program. Yeah. And once you live that lifestyle, like when I did it last year, I made the mistake of doing it for the wrong reason. I did it because I thought I needed to do it. Now I'm doing it because I want to do it. Yeah. And so, I'm down 43 pounds, but more importantly, my mind has really just evolved. It's great. It's crazy. It's awesome.
It's unbelievable. It really true. It's life changing. It really is. So dude, I think we need to all advocate for you going out and cooking for Andy and Emily.
I love that idea.
And I'll have to send Emily a message. But so dude, thank you. Seriously, thank you for being on. And I can't wait to bring my family out and eat at your restaurant. We're going to do that before the end of the summer. I'm going to commit to it right now, live on the air.
You see, now you're held to it. You got to pull things too.
That's right. Yeah. So and James, you know, he's like a brother to me. So I'm a younger brother. I'm way bigger than him. I always tell him, like, dude, respect your elders. I'm kidding. But anyway, so look, man, thank you for being on. I'm going to end the live stream. By the way, where can everybody follow you? What's the best place?
Probably on Instagram.
Instagram?
L, yeah, on Instagram. And everything, it feeds to everything else. So yeah, typically I live on that.
So look, James, now he's throwing shots, taking shots. All right, bro. So all right, listen, everybody, stand by for me, Eric, if you would. I'm going to go ahead and end this. Thank you again for being a guest on the show. Great story, man. Great story.
Fired up. Thank you.
All right, thank you. See you guys tomorrow.